So what I'm going to ask both our presenters here is to share with you what they believe is the most important takeaway that they could share with you tonight. So Alan has any insights, and he shares something really important that you would like everybody to know.
Well, I guess really is pretty much what we talked about earlier in terms of following your passions, because if you're going to start your own business, you want to be doing something that you really love doing. If you're building something on your own and you're growing it from scratch, it's something that you can hopefully have, and it could become a source of enjoyment plus income, and also it's something that you're building that potentially will be an asset that you could sell at a future date. So if you follow your passions, you can get rewarded in a lot of different levels, not the least of which would be the financial returns, but also the emotional rewards of doing something that you really enjoy doing.
And I'd say it comes down to two important factors. One is confidence, and the other is flexibility. So confidence, you honestly have to believe that your idea is interesting and that you can execute it, and that no matter what challenges come your way, you're going to be able to get past it. That your idea is good, and you are smart, and you are capable, and that really does drive you a long way, because when you're starting your own business, there's lots of ups and downs. But if you're just so confident that you will be able to figure this out, then you will. We did this big partnership with the Wall Street Journal, and the way that we did it was we had an interesting idea. We sent them an email, we sent them a message on LinkedIn, said, we have an idea to pitch you. And we were at that time a one-year-old company run by a 20-something, and this was the Wall Street Journal, one of the biggest newspapers in the world. And they said, why don't you come in for a meeting? And we went in for a meeting and we pitched them on this partnership, and we wound up signing this really big partnership with the Wall Street Journal just because we had confidence in our own ideas. And people might say, no, it doesn't work that way. They're lying. It does work that way. You just have to try it. The other thing is flexibility, that when you start your own business, things may not turn out how you first envisioned. Your business plan is useful, but it's useful to a point, because it can anticipate changes in the market, changes in your own life, changes in employees, changes in your product, that you might find customers giving you feedback that they like one of the things you do a lot, but 3 of the things you do, they don't like that much. So you go, you know what, I need to focus on that one thing that they do like. One of the things, there was a survey recently of venture capitalists, and they said, do you invest in ideas or do you invest in people? And they said, 9 out of 10 times we invest in people. We invest in people that are smart and dedicated, that have good ideas, but the people come first, that they will invest in a smart person with an okay idea over a really dull, unenergetic, unconfident person with a great idea. They're going to invest in the person who is smart and capable and agile. And also in a person where if adversity comes up, they have faith that you're going to be able to navigate around that you're going to be able to come up with some really creative, interesting idea and say, you know what, okay, this wasn't what I originally thought of, but on the fly I'm going to be able to pivot and shift and use the data points that have been given to me to come up with something even more interesting and even better. So I think those are the two things. Like, really have faith in yourself, have enough faith to put yourself out there, and if for whatever reason things don't go as planned, have enough faith that you're going to be able to go, okay, this didn't work out how I originally thought. Here's a new way of doing it, and I'm just going to pursue that just as hard.
Wow, well, incredible shares. Let me ask this question. We're going to go into question and answer in just a moment, but before I do, I want to bring up some other areas, one of which is for everybody out here. I saw a lot of hands raised for people who want to start a business for the first time, pretty much, I guess. For those people who want to start a business out there, how many people want to start something that is a shop, like a retail store, or something where people are physically going to walk into your facility? Anybody? Several? And for the other people out there, you're starting a service business of some sort, where they'll call on a phone or internet or whatever, and they'll buy stuff from you. So let me just have you take a moment out right now. You're in a room which registered about 220 people here tonight, although there's not 220 at the moment, but there are a lot of people in this room. You need to ask this question to yourself. You're looking to start a business. Look around the room right now. Does anybody in this room look like a potential customer that could be of yours? Or is there a potential vendor that could give you a good rate on something? You don't need to know, but you need to keep that radar up to know that there could be somebody that you could be working with, could be buying something from you, could enter into your store, could refer you, even if they're not your direct customer. With that being said, is you always need to pay attention to the room and the space that you're in to identify whether or not there's a potential there for you. And let me just share something with you. Every place you go, there is a potential, everywhere. So we're going to do something really quick with you, because I have a minute or two. You remember I was speaking about all it takes between gold and silver is 1,000th of a second, or the difference to get a locomotive running is 1 degree. And when I say 1 degree, the difference between 211 degrees and 212 degrees to create the steam that's needed to push a 100,000-ton train down the track. Okay? That's all it takes, is just a little bit of effort. So I'm going to point this out to you of how you could do that little bit of effort with not a whole lot of effort. And so what I'm going to ask you to do, you've been sitting there for an hour. I'm going to ask you to please stand up. If I can ask you to all stand up. Loosen up yourselves. Okay, so this is what I ask you to do for me, and you'll get a sense of what this is all about once you do this. I want you to look around and find somebody you don't know that you didn't come with, and just say hello to them. You don't have to have a discussion, just say hello. Yeah. Now, okay, so where does this 1 degree come in? Let me show you something. With a 1 degree shift, you can change your attitude completely of what the other person perceives you as, especially if you're going to interact with people that you're going to be doing business with, buying things from. How do you do this? Well, think of it this way. You ever get that call from somebody, it's like, oh no, not them again. Tell them I'm not here. I'm out for lunch, right? And then there are other people who call or knock on your door. It's like, oh, wow, great. I love hearing from them. Let's go out to lunch, okay? So this is how you do it. You know what physiology is? It's your state. There's something called a triad, which is made up of physiology, verbal skills, and physiology. I'm trying to remember this. Physiology, language, and text. So keep standing. Keep standing. I know you're tired, but keep standing. So I'm going to have you do something else right now. Physiology means the way you're going to position yourself. So how do you feel when you're victorious, when you're unstoppable? Are your shoulders back? You feel proud? You feel like a winner, right? You're breathing shallow and instead of deep. And you know, when you're depressed, how are you? Slouched over, your eyes are down. Think of it being about a winner. Eyes forward, eyes sharp, alert, shoulders back, right? Back in. Right? Do you feel that? Try that on. Now what I want you to do is take that physiology, turn to that same person you just turned to before, and now say hello to them. All right, so now you can all sit down. That was a wake-up exercise. So now, did you feel a difference? Did you feel a difference interacting with that person the first time and the second time? You should. And that's what you should do, and you can do that in an instant. Somebody walks into your store, somebody calls you on the phone, you go into a meeting in an office, you take a second out just to do that, okay?